here and welcome to a Bookish Friday video. So today's video is my September TBR, where I am going to show to you the books that I plan to read during the month, not September. Why did I say September? Already we're off to a great start. This is my October TBR video, which is where I show you all the books that I plan to read during the month of October. It's Halloween month, so I am taking part in 2 readathons. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's not going well for me at the moment with my reading slump. I'm still in it. The first readathon that I'm hoping to take part in is one that I actually did last year and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I am taking part in again this month. It is the HocusPocus readathon. They are on Twitter and it is taking place between October the 1st until the 31st. This is round 2. As I say, I did it last year. It's created by Pages and Ink and Werewolfius. I will try and link them below. And there are 4 teams, I believe, or 3 teams. Yeah, 3 teams. Team Sanderson Sisters, which I was last year. Team Undead and Team Trick or Treaters. Now, HocusPocus is my favourite film of all time. Yes, I love the Disney's Little Mermaid, of course I do. I love mermaids, that's my thing. But HocusPocus is my non-mermaid favourite film. I love it. I will watch it at any time of the year. So when I found out about this HocusPocus readathon last year, I was in. So as I was Team Sanderson's last year, this year I believe I've gone for Team Trick or Treaters, mainly because I really wanted to read the group book. So you can sign up on their Twitter. There is a Google Doc that you can sign up on. And I will link the announcement video for you in the description box down below, so please do go and check that out and support the girls. But the Team Trick or Treaters prompts, the first book to read is the group book. This is worth, because there are points for this, this is worth 15 points, and this is the reason why I wanted to be Team Trick or Treaters, because I want to read this. This is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, and it is a middle grade book, and this is the story about this this witch who every year the local townspeople leave her a child as a kind of sacrifice to her. She doesn't understand why they're doing this to her because she's not evil or anything. So what she does is she feeds the kid Starlight and then takes it across the mountains and gives it to a family on the other side. But one year she mistakenly feeds the child Moonlight, and as we all know, Moonlight is magical and you can't have a magical kid running around willy-nilly. So she decides to keep this child for herself, and by the child's 13th birthday her magic is about to emerge and dangerous, thrilling consequences. So I really cannot wait to read this. It sounds so magical and whimsical, and it's had such great reviews from other lovers of middle grade, so I can't wait to read this. The next prompt is to dress up as a character while you're reading a book. For this one, I don't really have any costumes, but one thing I do have is I have one of those knitted mermaid tail blankets that you can get. You know, it's in the shape of a mermaid's tail. So I thought I could throw that over me while I sit and read The Little Mermaid. So this is the Disney's animated classics, The Little Mermaid. This is cloth bound, and inside you have some kind of conceptual art and artwork from the films, and it's just literally the story of The Little Mermaid. So it's only a short book, it shouldn't take me long, but as long as I throw that blanket over me, I will have achieved what I set out to do. And I need some short books because reading slump, hitting hard. Okay, so the next prompt is, that was for Max, by the way. The next prompt is for the character Danny, and that is to read a book about siblings. One of my subscribers actually sent me this book after I said that I was very interested in this topic, and that is true crime. So this is The Murders at White House Farm, and this is the story about Jeremy Bamber and the killing of his family, The Definitive Investigation by Carol Ann Lee. So I went for a non-fiction for this prompt because I need to read more non-fiction, and I have had this for so long and I still haven't read it yet. So this is this true story, as I say, of Jeremy Bamber, who killed his entire family, his parents, his sister and her children, I believe. But he made it look like it was his sister who had killed everybody and then killed herself. He was pretty evil. Not to give it away, but it's a well-known crime apparently. So yeah, I cannot wait to read this. It is a chonker and it will probably take me a long time. There are some photos inside as well, which I always enjoy looking at. So yeah, I'm probably going to start this right at the beginning of the month because this is probably going to take me a while. But this is what I plan to read for the prompt to read a book about siblings. The next prompt is for Alison, and that is to defeat the Sanderson sisters, witches, read a book about witches. And for this one, I picked up this book. This is Sweetly by Jackson Pierce, and nothing more spooky than a witch face in the trees and this spooky little house here. So this is a retelling, I think, of Hansel and Gretel, and as we all know, there is a wicked witch in that. So yeah, 12 years ago, 3 siblings went looking for a witch in the forest. Only 2 of them returned. Now Ansel and Gretchen find sanctuary with Sophia Kelly at her sweet shop. Gretchen is lulled by the intoxicating treats that Sophia creates until handsome local outcast Samuel breaks the spell and forces her to look deeper at the secrets of the town. She begins to suspect her sister's disappearance is linked to the sleepy town's other missing girls, and if this is true, then so are her childhood terrors. The further she becomes entangled in the town's mysteries, the more she finds herself wondering if love is as deadly as it is sweet. So yes, based on Hansel and Gretel, as I say. So witches, yes. I can't wait to read this. I have read Jackson Pierce's other books. I've read Sisters Red, which is based off Red Riding Hood, and I've also read Fathomless, which was based on The Little Mermaid. So I am very excited to get to this one. Now all the teams have strengths and weaknesses. The strength for Team Trick or Treaters is that we deserve something sweet. You may trade a prompt with another team's prompt of your choice. And the weakness is hurry, you have to rush back home for curfew. You must read 1 book only during the daytime. I will probably use The Little Mermaid storybook for that one because I know that it's going to be a quick read, so I can guarantee if I read it in the afternoon or in the morning or whatever, that will definitely be read during the daytime. But the strength to trade out another team's prompt, the team that I've decided to trade out with is Team Undead, and for that I've chosen the character Emily. I do really like Leigh Bardugo's Grishaverse books, so I'm hoping that I will like this one as well. But, you know, it's going to be spooky. But I want spooky books. It's October. So, yes, I'm going to be doing that. I don't know what book I will trade it out for, but I think if I don't get the non-fiction book on Jeremy Bamber finished, but I get 9th House finished, I might trade it out for that one. So we'll sort of see how I go. So that is all the books for the Hocus Pocus readathon. As I say, I will link all of that for you in the description box down below. Right, the next readathon I'm doing has a big printout. It's a lot of pages. There's a lot of pages here to print out. But this is one of those, I really like readathons where they really do put the work in. And this one is to become a Phoenix Rider. And this is the inspired by Nikki Powell-Preto's Crown of Feathers series. This is a book that I have had my eye on for a while, but I've never read. So it is on social media, and I will link all of that for you down below. This is a readathon that again is running the full length of October, and everyone will start off as a stable hand and then work their way down the career tree. There's all sorts of things for you to do. It's all printed out. You can even find your Phoenix name generator, and mine is I am Zolana. So I am Nikki, Rider of Zolana. That is my Phoenix name. So to become a stable hand, you have to complete tier 1. And for the first prompt is Welcome Wagon, a book from your favourite genre. And I thought, well, what's my favourite genre? Fantasy. Okay, but fantasy is a rather large category. And then I thought, what is my favourite fantasy? Mermaids. So, as I had so much fun reading Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant a couple of months ago, I decided to read another darker story about mermaids. This is Ice Massacre by Tiana Warner. I believe this was independently published. And this is a story about every year a massacre every year the island of Ariana Kwai, I believe that's how you pronounce it, sends its warriors to battle the hostile sea demons of mermaids, but every year the warriors fail to return. Desperate for survival, they decide on a new strategy, and they send out 20 battle-trained girls instead of boys, because girls rule, because as well girls are a little more resistant to a siren song as well. And 18-year-old Mila has already lost her brother to the massacre and has lived with a secret that's haunted her since childhood. For any hope of survival, she must overcome the demons of her past and become a ruthless mermaid killer. So yes, I'm so excited for this. This is definitely giving me chills for the October season. Definitely want to read this. So this is going to be for my welcome wagon to read my favourite genre. The next prompt is Get to Know Everyone. So reading a person of colour, like an author of colour or an LGBTQ plus author. And so for that one, I am reading Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. So it is this one. This is a rather chunker of a book. And obviously Tomi is a person of colour. To be honest, I don't really know what this one's about. It just says on the back, they killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us, now we rise. So revenge and justice and the oppressed being rebellious and trying to fight back. It's going to be epic. I'm going to enjoy this. A lot of people have really liked this in the past. So yeah, I can't wait to read this one. The next prompt is to learn the history and mythology. So read a historical fiction or a retelling. For that one, I am going to double up with the Hocus Pocus readathon, and I'm going to choose Sweetly for this. Now, the reason why I've doubled up, and I wouldn't normally, but the reason why I am is because slump. It's still happening in September. I imagine it's still probably going to happen in October. So I need to double up on some prompts. So this is the first one that I've doubled up on, and I've already explained what this one is about. Hansel and Gretel retelling. There it is. The last prompt for tier 1 is to clean the stables, to read the book that has been on your TBR the longest. This has changed because I got the oldest book on your TBR prompt for Becca's Bookopoly in September. So the book that was the longest, that I have been waiting to read for so long, has now been done. Spoilers for my wrap up. So it's a new book that is my oldest book on my TBR, and it's a chonker. It is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. Another big book, hence why I'm doubling up. You see my meaning? So yeah, this is, I don't know, A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, I imagine. I think I've seen the film, I'm not 100% sure. Henrik Vanger, head of the dynastic Vanger Corporation, is tormented by the loss of a child decades earlier, convinced that a member of his family has committed murder. There's a journalist trying to uncover the truth behind the unsolved mystery, but someone else wants the past to remain a secret and will go to any lengths to keep it that way. And then there is a girl with a dragon tattoo. A dangerous security specialist assists in the investigation. Genius computer hacker. She tolerates no restrictions placed upon her by individual, society, or the law. So, yes, I'm going to be reading this because this is now the oldest book on my TBR. Let's hope it doesn't haunt me as long as Shattered Icon did by Bill Napier. So, yes, hopefully we'll be reading that one. So if I manage to complete tier 1, I will move on to tier 2, where I will become an apprentice for the Phoenix Riders readathon. And the first prompt for that is to get sponsored and read a book that has been gifted to me, and I picked up a short one for that, and it is this one. This is a point horror book, and it's called Nightmare Hall, Sorority Sister by Diane Ho. So this is basically Salem University sits Nightingale Hall, or Nightmare Hall as the students call it, because that's where the terror begins. Something is just crazy, determined to destroy the house and everyone in it. Madness and mayhem. It's going to be epic. It's going to be great for Halloween. So yeah, going to be reading this one. This was gifted to me by one of the lovely ladies from my lunch club. She knows I'm a reader, and she gave me quite a few of these. So I think she gave me 4 or 5, and I think I only have 2 or 3 left now. So yeah, I've read a couple of these. The next prompt is to read Animage, which is a book featuring mythical creatures. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Wicked King by Holly Black. Now, this is a reread for me. I am rereading the whole trilogy alongside my friend Charlotte. I will link her channel for you down below if you don't know her already, Planet Lottie. I'm sure you've heard me mention her before. But we are reading the Folk of the Air series. She is reading it for the first time, and I am reading it for the second time because why wouldn't I? I love it. It's brilliant. And this one, I can't wait to get back into this one. I can't really say why, but yeah, I love this one. And the Folk in the Air series follows a young girl called Jude, whose parents are murdered by a fae, and he then takes her and her sisters, because her oldest sister is actually his daughter, and that's why he murdered her parents. And he takes all 3 girls back to Elfheim, which is the land of the fae, and he raises them as his own. This all happens within the first chapter of the first book, The Cruel Prince, so it's not really a spoiler. And one daughter is fighting against being in Elfheim, one daughter is accepting it, And then we have Jude, who is kind of wanting to become one of the Fae. I feel like she's of the mindset, if you can't beat them, join them kind of thing. So I'm really loving getting back into this world. As I say, we've been reading The Cruel Prince together in September, and we're going to move on to The Wicked King in October. So yeah, I'm reading this for Animage to read a book about mythical creatures, because Fae is in here. So mythical creatures. There are other mythical creatures in there as well, which I'm really looking forward to reading about as well. The next prompt on tier 2 is to find an egg to read an underhyped book. Now for this one, I picked this book because A, I wanted to read this book in October anyway, and then B, because the first book of this duology, I think, got a lot of hype, but when the second book came out, nobody gave it a wink notice. So yeah, that's why I'm saying it's an underhyped book, and it is The Deck of Omens by Christine Lynn Herman. It is the second book to The Devouring Grey, which I read last year when it came out. This one has beautiful blue sprayed edges. I have been wanting to get back into this. I've been wanting to read this, but I thought I would keep it till October. The Devouring Grey deals with the fact that a young girl returns with her mother back to her mother's hometown, only to discover that she is one of the 4 founding families that created this town and is responsible for holding back this magical entity called the Devouring Grey. But there is some family arguments between all 4 families, and they're all like bickering at each other, and lots of secrets, twists and turns. So yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get back into the second book. I might have to remind myself a little bit of what happened in The Devouring Grey first, because it has been a long time. But yeah, can't wait to get into this. So this is to read an underhyped book. And the last prompt that I hope to get to for tier 2 to complete my apprentice is to care for and incubate the egg, which is to read a book that is longer than 300 pages. So this could really be anything, but I really wanted to read something that was very October, spooky, kind of Halloweenish. And for that, I turned to one of my fairy books, Forest of Souls. If that doesn't call spooky to you, I don't know what will. And even better, this has a spider on the front of it. So fitting for Halloween, because, you know, it's a spooky book. And it is over 300. It's 382 pages. I didn't want to push it and read a massive chonker because, as we've already seen, I already have a lot of chonkers on here. So this story is about a young girl called Saoirse, who is training to become the Queen's next royal spy. And her plans are derailed when shamans attack and kill her best friend Sengo. But then Saoirse somehow restores him back to life. And unveiled as the first soul guide in living memory, she is summoned to the domain of the Spider King. For centuries he's used his influence over the Dead Wood, an ancient forest possessed by souls, to enforce peace between the kingdoms. But with the trees growing wild and untamed, only a soul guide can restrain them. As war looms, Saoirse must master her newly awakened abilities before the trees shatter the brittle peace, or worse, claim Sengo, the friend she would die for. So, yes. Sounds very spooky. We have spooky trees. We have spooky Spider King. Great. I can't wait to read this. So that is my prompt for caring for and incubating the egg, to read a book over 300 pages. So that is that. So that is my intended October TBR. I would hold them up, but that's not going to be possible. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books here. So fingers crossed, I should be able to get them all read, plus a couple more. Depends how my slump is going by October, but that is everything that I plan to read during the month of October. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!